Building a successful business is the American dream, but we can't take it with us. So why not help those having hard times? Give them a hand up, volunteer your time or your services. Sounds like the perfect business model to me, and our next guest is living that. Rob Clark, he's the owner of Outdoor Lighting Perspectives, and he works with Well House GR. But let's talk first, Rob, about what you do. Thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
Talk about your day job and what you guys do.
So my day job, our day-to-day is we love, I have a passion for all things architecture. And I grew up in a family of landscape design build. So from a very young age, I was out working on homes and got to see really just cool properties around West Michigan. And part of those projects usually included lighting. And back then, lighting was primarily focused on the landscape. So whatever we put in the ground or the hardscapes, we lit those things up. And as I traveled more in the South, you started seeing all this architecture that was lit up. And I thought, well, why don't we do that back in West Michigan?
Right.
So we brought that back. And one of our favorite things to do is just to light up homes so that when you come home at night and it's dark out, you're greeted by just a magnificently lit home.
Yeah, and it's beautiful stuff. And then you guys do like crazy holiday lights and do all kinds of other
We do all
things.
sorts of crazy things. We do like the downtown market for Chris Kindle and do some seasonal holiday lighting, but we also do permanent holiday lighting as well.
Okay, so talk to us a little bit about how you got together with Well House GR, how that works.
100%. Yeah, they reached out to us. They, they're in downtown Grand Rapids, and it's in an area that isn't always, safe. And so they were looking to add some security lighting around the property. And I love light, and I love how it changes your mood. And when you see, like, their thought was, well, let's add some like floodlights. And the problem with floodlights is we all have them on our home, but they're kind of like storm lights. We turn them on when the storms are coming through. But they're very intense, and they don't create an atmosphere that's inviting and welcoming. And Well House is all about helping house the homeless and allow them to work on these homes and really invest in these properties. So if we're creating properties that I would want to live in, the last thing I want to do is be greeted by really intense light. So the thing we did is we kind of walked the property with them, understood how they're using this space, and then started thinking more proactively of how can we improve security, but then how can we also just beautify the property so that it becomes this little oasis in the middle of downtown Grand Rapids.
That's pretty great stuff, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, and so talk about how this relationship has kind of evolved. I mean, obviously you're working on the main space, but you're helping out with some of these homes too that are used to house people.
We actually just did their main property.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I would love to. I would love to do more. But they brought us in for just that main property. It's kind of a gathering space. They hold events there.
Okay.
And it's also where their primary office is. And sometimes their staff are working late at night. And so adding security, adding safety, and then also creating an atmosphere where they can have gatherings was all important to them. They've got a little pergola out there where they have picnic tables and stuff. And we just wanted to bring some lights that can be used not only by them, but by the community at large.
Right, absolutely. It makes everything look better.
Absolutely.
So talk a little bit about how maybe your call to action for other people for doing something like this, because you're providing your services. There are lots of other service providers out there that can, give a 100%, little, right?
Yeah, and organizations like Well House all have needs. They have the same needs that you and I have for our houses. And helping a nonprofit doesn't always mean just, giving them a discounted service, or I could have very easily just thrown up floodlights, but just really thinking, if this was our property, if this is how we would want to live, what would we like it to be? And then maybe you approach it from we in some cases you can do it at no charge. In some cases maybe it's just a really reduced margin and no margin at all. You're just charging for the materials that were used. And I think there's a lot of ways that you can serve people.
Wonderful. And talk to, have you been able to interact with any of the people that they serve at all, and talk about the work that they do?
I haven't worked with the clients they're helping, but I've heard from them. They love the space. Sure. They love coming. I mean, in Michigan, a lot of times when we leave for work in the morning, it's dark out.
Yeah.
And when we get home at night, it's dark out.
Yeah.
So just being greeted by well lit space is really inviting, and it just enhances your mood.
All right, perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for what you're doing.
Absolutely. Glad to do it.
If people want to learn more about what you do when you're not helping nonprofits, outdoorlights.com/Grand-Rapids. But then Well House GR, another great nonprofit in our community, wellhousegr.org.